Yes, brothers and sisters, lovers and haters, boys, girls, and of course vibrations. How is everybody? Hope everybody's well. As usual, love and light to you all. Now, I've been meaning to explain myself on this standpoint for a little while now. And I thought, now's as good a time as any. Now, a lot of people have asked me why I bear the cross on my channel. And some people have asked us in the comments even today, what kind of Christian are you? I'm an Orthodox Christian, you know. I've even had someone saying they were a fundamental Christian. I don't know what they are. Why? Because I'm not a Christian. And I don't need to be a Christian to bear the cross. You see, we say something in the fellowship and it's God of my understanding, God of your understanding, you know. That doesn't mean that I understand God, because I don't. And I'd like to hear from one person who thinks that they do understand God, you know. I'm going to quote Dr. Kent, you know, that if God could be understood by our tiny 3-pound brain, then he wouldn't be worth worshipping now, would he? And that's the God that I worship. God of my understanding is basically my concept of higher power. This cross in my pocket is never far away from me. This cross that I bear on my channel, the real Danny Christie, it's a symbol. You see, for me, it's a symbol of good. Now, in my opinion, Jesus, without question, you know, without uncertainty, walked this earth. Yeah? Was he the Son of God? Did he perform miracles? Did he heal the sick? Did he feed the 5,000? All that stuff, I don't question it, because I don't need to, because I don't need an understanding of it, because I just don't. I'm not interested. I don't believe, I don't disbelieve, I don't question, I don't mock, I don't scrutinise. I leave that stuff right where it is, because I'm not a Christian. I don't need some depth in belief of something that isn't my faith. Now, the cross, for me, is a symbol of good. And I think Jesus was good personified. Now, even when he was on the cross, what did he say? Forgive them, they know not what they do. You know, this was a great man. And that's a symbol for me of a great man. And it not more so what it is, it's a symbol of, right, it's a symbol of light in the face of darkness, forgiveness in the face of sin, but above and beyond all of that, it's a symbol of good in the face of evil. So that's why I bear the cross. That's why I'm never too far from the cross in my pocket, because it reminds me that I can be a better person. Now, I don't need to be religious, and I don't say I've got a problem with religion, but people are free to believe in a faith of their choosing, you know. Like I've said, I don't understand my God, you know. Higher power for me is my concept. I call my God, God. I call my higher power God, because I build a much better relationship with a person than I do a power. You know, there's no beard, there's no harp, there's no man in the clouds, none of that stuff. You know, and all I need is faith in higher power. I don't need to know how it works. You know, I don't need the full understanding of it. I don't fully understand how a car works, but I get all the benefits from it. I don't fully understand how electricity works, but I get all the benefits from it. You see, it's simple when you think about it, you know. Higher power for me exists without uncertainty. You know, it's real. Now, let's move on to spirituality. I've been asked a lot, you know, are you spiritual? You know, if you're not Christian, you must be spiritual. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm spiritual. You hear a lot of people say they are spiritual, and when you ask them to explain why, they give a very poor explanation of why they're spiritual. There's one thing for certain, since I've got in recovery, I am more in touch with spirituality than I've ever been. But I'm not going to call myself spiritual, because a lot of the time my head's still in the wrong place. Thankfully they're only thoughts nowadays, but my head's still, sometimes it's in the wrong place. I think of some negative things, and I still think of some violent things sometimes, That's just the truth. Spirituality means to me things that are not of the physical world. They're not material. There's no physical substance to them. There's no physical weight. For example, thoughts, feelings, emotions, karma. Karma's a brilliant one. Karma's a brilliant example for me of spirituality. You can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't feel it, you can't touch it, you can't wait. Karma, feelings, thoughts, emotions, they're not of the physical world. So try and explain them. Try and explain how you've got an emotion that isn't physical. It's spiritual. And I'm more and more in touch with spirituality since I've been clean and part of the programme. But that's what spirituality means to me. What does spirituality mean? It sounds like a question in my step work. What does spirituality mean to you? Well, that's what it means to me. Things that aren't of the physical or material world. And I'm more and more in touch with those things than I've ever been. So there you go. I wouldn't call myself spiritual. I'm definitely not religious, and I don't have to be to bear the cross, a symbol of forgiveness in the face of sin, but more so good in the face of evil. Thank you for listening, brothers and sisters. I'm off to the fellowship. Bye-bye for now.